Hey everybody, this is Jim from Cropley's Garden Center and Landscaping, and I thought I would show you a few pruning tips today. We always get a lot of questions about when I should prune things, when you should not prune things. And the basic rule of thumb is you should always prune after the plant blooms. So what I have here is this is a city line Berlin hydrangea that we kind of left over that has not been cut back. This particular plant blooms off the old growth and some of the new growth. So what you want to do is, you see all these sticks in your yard? You'd want to cut them back. So you just cut all those back, right back to where the green is. It's good to cut on an angle, and that way there the water runs off of them. Any of the stuff that's on them that's dead, you want to make sure you get out. Again, this stalk has nothing on it, so you want to cut it right off. And there you go. That should be what your hydrangea looks like after you cut it back. Here I have a butterfly bush, and typically you get a lot of dieback in these in the wintertime. So what you want to do, the same thing, you want to bring it back. All the dead stuff comes off. Bring the growth back a little bit so it stays nice and full. And there you go. You can see all the sprouts starting to come up, which would be a nice full plant when it gets growing. I want to show you a few evergreens. Typically the same thing, you prune after it blooms. This is a Mother's Day azalea. I'm not a big person to cut azaleas back with a hedge trimmer, but what I would do on these is I would cut all the little straggly ones off, just to keep it nice and shaped. Go through a couple seconds, doesn't take a lot of time. And that does that. I mean, it cleans it up really nice. It'll keep the plant nice and full as you go. And the last one I got here is, this is a rhododendron. It is just finishing flower. So what you want to typically do, you want to go over and break these flower heads off like that. And I usually do it just with my hands. That'll promote new growth buds, and these will start to produce buds for next year in the late summer. So you want to do any pruning. If you want to keep the plant back, you want to do the same thing. You want to go in there and you want to clip some of these uprights off a little bit so that they stay nice and full. The plant will stay, instead of stretching out and then having to cut it back at a later time. And that's pretty much it. While I got you here, last week I talked about the alliums. You can see them in the background there, blooming nice and pretty. This is a foxglove, and you can see the blooms on that are beautiful. They're just starting to bud out and produce flowers. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is my favorite bushel and berry. These are self-pollinating blueberry. They are good for the gardens. You can put them in container gardens on your deck, and you can just go out and pick them. You can see all the flowers on them, and those will all produce blueberries this year. Again, thanks for viewing my video, and hope to see you next week. Thank you.